This is a market measure our team put together today. It's called, Is Backtesting Still Reliable? A lot of people have been sending us emails recently about backtesting. So we wanted to see, hey, how reliable is our backtesting? And we have our own database. We have our own software. We basically, it's just for our research team only. We also have backtesting tools on the software. We also have scan tools, and we're building even a lot more. We're about to launch a brand new backtesting platform on the software. So I think it's appropriate for now. But our research is all done through the combination of AI and our own database that we've been putting together for the last 13 years, along with all our own technology that kind of, searches that database so we can reuse it, so we can create tons of new content, literally every day. So is backtesting still reliable? Let's take a look. A really good piece. Because people ask us all the time, like, how good is your stuff? Well, as we step into the new year, our dedication to staying informed takes center stage. We are keen to explore the reliability of backtesting through unbiased, objective, and comprehensive comparisons. For doing that, we're going to take our backtests for short option P&L from SPY for the last 9 years. We used 2013 to 2022 to see how accurate it was. Now, the reason sometimes we cut off certain dates and stuff like that is just so we can finish the studies. And then we compared it to what happened between 2022 and 2024. So we took 2 periods. We took a 9-year period and then a 2-year period, or almost 2 years. And then note that 21 and 22 can be considered outlier years. I think that's fine. 2021 had a record year in the S&P plus 30%, and 2022 saw a substantial rise in implied volatility with tough markets. I mean, you had, in 2020, you had the pandemic. In 2021, you had the meme stock and everything else. In 2022, you had an actual sell-off. A lot of stuff going on.
Sure.
Let's go to the next slide.
Different market.
Yeah. Here are the 2 different markets, 2013 to 2022 and 2022 to present. We did 45 days, no adjustments, nothing, like no rolling up, no rolling down, no adjusted position, no making it delta neutral. This is like basically a worst case for us. We recorded the average P&L as a percent of the average credit. We looked at 16, 20, and 30 delta strangles, managed all at 21 days, and then redeployed to the same strategy. What I meant is we didn't adjust the position at all.
That's correct.
And we tested different IV environments, VIX less than 20, VIX between 20 and 30, and the VIX greater than 30. This is like for most.
Did they test VIX under 10? No, not yet, huh?
No, but this is seriously like for most people, this would be a year's worth of research, and I'm not kidding. That's how crazy the environment we built for testing this stuff is. Couldn't do this on any normal platform. Let's go next slide. Since 2022 and 2024 saw an average S&P volatility of 21, with most of the time spent between 20 and 30. We'll use that range as the comparison between 2024 results to the longer term results since 2013. That's fair. We're just taking the average. So the VIX between 22 and 24, the average is 21, the high is 36, the low is 12. And then the VIX from 2013 to 2022, the average was 18, which is kind of the mean. The high was 83, which happened during the pandemic. The low was 9. I don't even remember that. It was 2017.
Yeah.
Okay. Then now you got your ranges.
Sure.
From 13 to 22, the average P&L in the short strangles is below, separated by IV environment. Between 23 and present, the IV was predominantly between 20 and 30, so we'll compare that on the next slide with how well they tested. But what you're looking at right here is from 13 to 22, this
is the percentage of profit you take from the strangle?
This is the average P&Ls. How much money you made?
On a percentage.
On a percentage basis. So it didn't matter how much money you have.
Gotcha.
So if the VIX was less than 20, listen, it's just to give you an idea of which ones we would trade.
Sure, the most advantageous.
Yeah, the VIX is low like it is now. The 16 delta, seemed to be the best play. If the VIX between 20 and 30, the 16 delta seemed the best play. And then the VIX above 30, becomes a little bit more of a, because you're going to make more money, but in all these cases, the 16 delta prevailed. And, but the VIX between 20 and 30 is kind of our sweet spot. That's the most important takeaway here. Is that if you're looking for a sweet spot, it's not too low, it's not too high, it's between 20 and 30.
I like it.
Let's go to the next slide. So the results between 2022 and present saw virtually the same outcome, which is important because if you're comparing apples to apples, you want everything to always work in the same or in very different environments. So even though 2021 had an epic bull market which would test the calls, and 2022 tested many puts, the results seem to be the same. This is just kind of our approach. So the average P&L as a percent of the credit from 2022 to present was very similar: 23, 18, 12, and 26, 20, 24. That's in the sweet spot, okay? That's when you're in your sweet spot. So essentially, taking a best case in both situations, you'd have a hard time, arguing that even in crazy periods like we had in the last 2 years, that anything was that much different from the historical averages. Again, only trying to prove that the backtesting approach works.
Well, and the math too, right? I mean, these numbers are in range of what you would expect of the probability of success of each one of these trades.
100%.
Especially if you're managing at 21 days.
100%.
Right.
Yep. So let's go to the next slide. In the face of short-term market volatility, the underlying math of option pricing consistently provides reliable projections for long-term profit and loss expectations over multiple occurrences. Keep in mind that these backtests are 100% mechanical, meaning there was no rolling, no adjusting, and no managing except at 21 days. So hopefully, hopefully we can do better with paying attention.
Managing the trade, placing the trade when you got high implied volatility.
The whole point of the exercise was just to show you that regardless of the environment, regardless of the implied volatility, the numbers in the sweet spot of both time periods worked out basically exactly the same.
Beautiful. Good job. Good job out of you. Good job out of the team. We're going to take a quick... Good job out of the market. Even the S&P's up 22, NASDAQ up 74, and the Russell continues to be stronger, up 42. We'll be back in 90 seconds. We got more Tasty Live with, oh joy, your friend and mine, Mr. Scott Sheridan, next.